Hi folks, I'm Don Meisner, and I want to welcome you to this week's Fishing Behind the Lines. Today we're going to be fishing with Rocky Rockwell. Is that correct,
Yeah,
Rocky?
you got me.
No matter which name you say, you're going to get you, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be fishing today on the Redfield Reservoir. This is in Oswego County. It's a place that I have never, ever been in my life. I've always heard about it, and it sure is beautiful around us. Rocky has been in the military almost all his life. He was an officer, a Green Beret, and I know he's going to be a great guest, so stay with us.
My father worked for the New York Central Railroad. He'd put me in the car, drive over to work, which is only a couple miles, and he'd drive me up Post Creek, which is a feeder creek to the Chemung River. And he would drop me off, and I fished my way back home.
And what would you catch?
I can remember catching my first pickerel, which I thought was huge.
I know, me too. When I caught my first northern, I thought I'd gone to heaven. I thought it was the most incredible thing after growing up on a trout stream, and here I am falling in love with northern. But what I wanted to ask you, you pretty unique. Number one, you were in the Green Berets, but it also is amazing. You served a number of years, then got out, and then went back in. Tell us that story. What made you do this?
Well, I wanted to. I mean, it was after 9/11. I've seen 3 generations of the United States Army, from that Vietnam period through the rebuilding in the 80s and 90s, and all of a sudden, boom, everything we worked through for the 80s and 90s, here they are, professionals. So I've been out for 10 years. I was amazed at how lethal the brigade was, how they could manage so much information and coalesce it and put it in a really usable form, which was effective on the battlefield. And I just like being around those guys. I mean, I served with heroes. You're involved in something much bigger than yourself. It doesn't work unless you have the team concept and you work for one another and care for one another, and it's just absolutely extraordinary. You don't think of a salary when you join the military. You know you're not going to make any money. I was kind of a wild man when I first joined, and it took me a long time to make private first class. So,
Did it really?
Yeah, so I was making $92 a month for a long time. I had to go to jump school because they got $55 extra, so it was an economic necessity. But I took an oath, support and defend the Constitution, took it numerous times. There's no expiration date on that oath.
That's a beautiful fish.
That's a nice
Now, is
fish.
that illegal?
Yeah, I think that'll measure, yeah.
Do we want to eat them?
We
Everything you do is catch and release, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm going to mimic, I'm going to be.
Well, if you really
I'm gonna
want
be
them,
like, no.
I have no objection.
Listen, I don't really like sushi, and I
Yeah.
didn't bring a knife, so let's
Yeah.
let him go back. Well, I'll tell you what. Now, granted, that wasn't a 10-pound walleye, but did that ever thrill me? The neat thing about this kind of fishing to me is we've come up to a place that I've never been in my life. The water is very, very high because we've had the most rain and water this year in 100 years. So there might be fishable water where there normally wouldn't be. But the nice thing is there's walleyes in here, there's crappies in here, and there's bass in here. And we don't know what's going to hit or if anything's going to hit. But when I had that tap, did it ever get me excited? And there should be more walleyes. That's the thing. Walleyes are a school fish, so they're never just one alone. I've got a little tiny black jig on one. Everything I'm using is Rocky's, and he makes most everything himself, and it's beautifully made stuff. But this little jig, I always like black for some reason. When nothing else works, I go to black. It's a natural color. It's a natural leach color, and that fish hit it. All I'm doing is throwing out, letting it go down to the bottom, and then slowly just working it back. You can say you're jigging or you're dragging, or the most important thing is not moving it too quickly.